Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com, and today a little bit of an opinion piece, I guess. I want to share with you why I think engineers happen to make great business owners. Just a bit of a background check in case you don't know about me. For 13 years, I practiced mechanical engineering in the aerospace field. I have a bachelor's and a master's in mechanical engineering. Started this as a side business and eventually left the engineering field to work on the watch business full time. That was back in 2011. Why I think I got like five reasons. I'm going to break it down. So, reason number one: engineers, no matter what kind you are excellent problem solvers. And running a business is basically one big problem, or one big problem with a bunch of sub problems. How do I sell a product? How do I get a product? How do I inventory a product? How can I market it? How can I get better shipping rates? How everything is a problem. And the engineers just have a very good way, or the mindset to step back, look at all the inputs to the system, all the outputs to the system, and figure out, what is the best way to solve something. Like I said, I think owning a business is one big problem. There's one problem after another. It could be a customer problem, or obviously it could be a logistical problem that needs solving. So, the way we look at things, I think, just really lends engineers to gives us a very big advantage in running and owning a business. My number two reason. And this is a little bit of a trade-off. Very risk adverse. Most engineers will not do anything risky. But of course, risk, usually ties into reward. And if you're not risking a lot, you're probably not going to get a lot. But the flip side to that is the failure rate, I would say, is going to be so much lower. Don't expect an engineer to go out and, get a $500,000 SBA loan to do a new startup. I don't think that's really the norm. We look at things, we take things that are tried and true, study them, make sure it's the right thing to do, and then integrate it. No big risks, and it just gives, like I said, it doesn't give a tremendous payoff at the end of the day, but years and years and years of taking these small calculated risks eventually end up to be something more substantial. So kind of like a slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. Number three, don't take this the wrong way, engineers, but we tend to be very cheap, or as my former boss would say, very frugal. And when I started running this business back, when I sold my first watch in like 2002, the first thing I sold for profit. Even when taking all my costs into account, granted it was on eBay, but all my operating costs, everything, it was sold at a profit. I know that if you have a business degree and all of this stuff, you learn the cost of money and you're going to borrow and blah, blah, blah. To me, if I owe somebody, a bank, 100 grand and I made $50, I'm in the hole $999,950. I know it's not the way to look at it. I've dealt with vendors before where I feel I have a very poor performing product of theirs. And this is one instance in particular. And the person said to me, or the vendor said to me, well, how many have you sold? I said, I only sold one. And they said, that's great. Everything's paid for itself already. And I said, how can you say that? I'm still 7 grand in the hole. He's like, no, you're not. You borrowed the money. The interest rate is this. You sold one. So you already paid off the interest that you would accrue over the next 18 months. Blah, blah. And I sat back on that one. And I said, wow. I'm really, I'm really undereducated in the business field. I really don't understand. I don't get it. If I sell a product, I want to make money. I want to put the money in my pocket immediately. So number three reason, being cheap or frugal in this case is probably a good thing. Number four, we're great at efficiency. Excellent. We can watch a process and figure out how to make it faster, how to make it cheaper. Maybe today I'm shipping 10 packages a day. Next week I plan to ship 20, and in a year I plan to ship 50, 100. How do you grow that? How do you do it with your current infrastructure? Do you have to change your infrastructure? These are all things that an engineer can look at, examine a process, and say, yeah, you know what, I see over here, we have the person needs to walk 10 steps to get to that item. We could change it to 5 steps if we just rearrange some stuff. And all those little bits will help to grow the efficiency and help the enterprise, as it were, run a little leaner. There is an old UPS commercial. I say old. It's probably, I guess, maybe a decade old at this point. It shows a bunch of, kind of kids, and it looks like they have a startup. And one of them clicks a button on the mouse, and he announces to the other kids, "Hey, that's it, guys. Our site is live," and they all clap, "Yay!" And there's a little counter on the screen. It said it's an order counter, and all of a sudden it clicks to 1, and they're all cheering, "Yeah!" They're all so happy. And then it goes to 2, 3, and then it shoots. It could start going up to like 100, 200, and they all look at each other like, how the hell are we going to manage this? Well, that's where, if you're good at efficiency and everything else, you can anticipate changes like that and mold yourself around it so that you can do a better job. My number 5 reason why engineers make good business owners is because we have a very inherent ability to understand systems, those outside our domain of knowledge. I am a mechanical engineer, but I can generally look at any system and I can understand it. Like I said before, inputs, outputs, how it works, how it functions. It doesn't have to be a piece of machinery. It can be anything, and we can analyze it and we can understand it. Back when I was in engineering, if you had a problem, like a big problem, you were working on, and you needed help on it, you would send it to a team of, graybeards almost, people who just have a lot of experience in engineering, but not inherently knowledgeable on your product. And they can just look. They don't need to know what fastener goes where or this and that, but they can just look at the whole entire system and say, hey, you know what? This might be a problem right here. And that's something that engineers are just, again, we're just very good at it. One of my children can hand me a toy and say, "Daddy, it's not working." I can open it up, look at it, and say, "Oh, cracked solder joint. Oh, broken wire," and fix it, put it back together, and they're on their way. It's something that, it's a broken record, but we just tend to be very good at understanding things outside our domain. And with that, I'll just give you one more. When I graduated from a small engineering school called the Cooper Union in Manhattan in 1998. My goodness, it was a long time ago. And at recruitment, there were engineering companies, there were architectural companies, structural companies, whatever. But there were also a large number of different kinds of firms. You had banking firms, financial institutions, consulting firms. And you're thinking, well, why are they here? Cooper Union only graduated at the time civils, mechanicals, electricals, chemicals, and a general science and engineering degree. Why are they here? They obviously don't need mechanical engineers at, Bear Stearns. I guess they don't exist anymore, but whatever. I would say Lehman Brothers, but they don't exist anymore either, do they? But, they don't need these people. They don't have mechanical engineers. They don't need that. But they're not looking for that. They're looking for the mindset, the thought process. And as it was, a lot of my friends did not go into engineering. They went into these different areas where their brains are exercised in different ways, just understanding and helping solve people's problems. I think that's about it. That is 5 reasons why I think engineers make great business owners or business people. You don't need an MBA. Please, I don't have one. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. You have any comments, you want to add anything, put it down below. I'm happy to read it. I don't know. Have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye.